everyone, it's Adventures of Sarah and Em here. We are on our way to the secondhand craft store and a week at my parents' house. Say hi, Mom.
Hi.
So I thought a really fun project this week to borrow my mom's sewing machine and go to the secondhand craft store and see what I find and make a project with a pattern and fabric and thread and stuff from there. So we're gonna be at the store in a bit and I'll let you see what I find. And it was closed. So I'm back on another day now. The sign said open this time, so that's a good sign. This is 100% my favorite store ever. They have all sorts of craft supplies here, but the sewing section is my favorite. Okay, let's start with patterns, of which there are many. I wanted a vintage pattern, so I went through that section first. My 3 favorites. I was looking for a vintage style, but ooh, I need that one. And that one. I found this, but it's a reproduction pattern, but it's my style and size. And I had found about 3 yards of silver fabric. I need a zipper and some matching thread. Here's what I got for this project. And everything else. Oops. I've become a pattern hoarder. I'm going to make view A, which is this one in the middle here. And I had to do a little bit of switching around, but I managed to get all of the pieces on the fabric. There were limited quantities on what they had in stock, because you know, it's a secondhand craft store. My mom taught me to sew when I was very little. And when I got older, she let me use her machine, and I always hated that thing. It had all sorts of tension issues and skipped stitches like crazy, so I got her a new one for Mother's Day a few years ago. Growing up, we made all of my Halloween costumes on the old machine, and I even made a few skating dresses on it. And my dad taught me how to ride a dirt bike on that bike. Because of my very limited fabric, I had to piece together a few parts. I marked out the darts with a regular pen since that is all that was available, but I didn't have to worry about chalk lines rubbing off. I stitched the darts and the extra pieced together pieces. And also the front bodice got a gathering stitch. I did iron this fabric, but it started melting before unwrinkling. I sewed the armpit seam, okay, I'll be fancy, the arm size seam, and the shoulder seam. And understitched. I basted the bodice and lining together at the top edge. I assembled the neck facing or binding pieces and stitched them together at the top. I stitched the neck facing to the bodice, but I accidentally stitched it neatly to the lining side instead of the outside. And then I lost a pin. I found it eventually, I think. I pinned the neck binding to the outside of the bodice and used a very neat hand stitch to stitch it down. I have finished the bodice. The skirt is all ready to go, but it is an absolutely gorgeous day outside and we have better things to do. I am back home now. I did not finish the dress at my parents' house because I had better things to do, you know, mermaid things. So I have all of it here, although I have one slight problem. This was after my very sequiny underwater dress. I'm gonna clean it and then get back to sewing. Oh my gosh, look at that fluffy mess. This is why you need to clean your machine every more often than whatever I've been doing. Back with all my tools, I marked the darts with tailor's chalk. With the darts sewn, I assembled my skirt. Also, this dress has a side zipper, so I'm ignoring the stitch tube points on this side. The skirt back panel has to be pieced together, so there's an extra seam. This is a very beautiful twirly skirt, so there's a lot of volume and seams. I basted where the zipper goes and ironed it open before remembering that I have to attach the bodice first. Also, I forgot the bodice band. No wonder I had an extra piece. So I added that before lining up the bodice and the skirt. This is not my favorite style of zipper, but the dress wasn't supposed to have a back seam, even though mine did. I basted the zipper in place and removed the first zipper's basting stitch. I stitched that in place with a very close match of thread. I washed Emmy's blanket and I guess I forgot to put it back under my desk. I hand-stitched the lining into place. The dress is basically done except the hem and the little bow details. I really wanted to do the hem with bias tape since it's kind of a circle skirt, and this polyester is not ironing very well at all. But I can't find my black bias tape, so I used it on my vintage skating dress, but haven't seen it since then. Guess I'm done for now. I never found it, so I serged the raw edge and folded it over once. It's okay. Not great. This is a new form of bobbin chicken. This is how much thread I have left. And I've sewed that much more. Luckily, I still have the thread that's on the bobbin. The dress is done! What do you guys think? This is my attempt at dancing. It is not a strong point. The camera crew is having a bit of a problem.
I can't work under these conditions.
Give it me.